tornado.
Hey, whoa, everybody. I think we were a little laggy, but hey, everybody. This is Dominic, DeAngelo of several outlets. I'm here today on the Premier Streaming Network, or if you're listening on your podcast feed, I'm on your podcast feed. And I am here with none other than Mr. Rob Van Dam for episode 20. 20. Can you believe 20 episodes, Rob?
Can't believe it. Damn.
Hot damn.
What are we doing?
I know, we're cooking, man. We're
When are we going to get it right?
Yeah. One of these times. It's going to happen. We'll hit it one of these times.
Hanging in there.
Yep, hanging in there, man.
We're committed to at least do 21.
Yes, I think so. Maybe that'll be our lucky number is 21. Maybe we'll hit it off and just be the flawless episode that we have, you know? We'll have to figure it out. Wait and see.
Happy 20, Dom.
Happy 20, Rob. It's been a lot of fun so far. Hey, what a way to ring it in, too. Geez, you had a big show on last Saturday night. AEW Collision. How was it, man? How did it all feel? And being in that atmosphere and in your backyard, basically. I know a lot of people aren't mobile in the Michigan area, so maybe you don't have the crossover for Battle Creek next week, but maybe you will.
Yeah. A lot of people did tell me that they're going to see me in Battle Creek as well this week. So I hope so. And of course, it was awesome. You know, that's part of being RVD and connecting with the crowd and being a hometown hero. It was fun. The guys were really cool that we worked with. And Hook, really cool dude, good energy. I heard a bunch of times that day after I heard it the first time that Taz and I teamed in that same building, the Van Andel Arena, 25 years earlier. So a full circle moment for the Taz family and RVD, I guess. So pretty cool piece of history, which I'm sure YouTube Chris already knew, but somebody said that in the daytime, and then I heard it 5 or 6 times, and it became one of the things to remember about the day. And I love that in the picture that went out on social media of myself and Hook, and they caught me folding my arms and doing a frown. And I just love that everyone automatically knew that was an impression.
That was an inference of Taz.
I just channeled my Taz, and everybody recognized it.
Taz picked up on it too. I saw he tweeted about it. So.
Pretty funny, but all good though, dude. This was the first match that I've had in a while where it hasn't been several months in between, because a month ago I had that match on August 9th with AEW, and this Saturday in my hometown in Battle Creek. Now I'm warmed up. Now it's only been a week, so a lot of people outside of the business might not know, because they might think the more you wrestle, the more beat up you get. But when it comes to just being conditioned to wrestle, then you have an advantage having a few matches in over the first match after it's been a while. It's always been like that. In Japan, I used to wrestle for a minimum of 2 weeks. I think it was 15 days in February. November was like a 5-week tour, I think. And that was really long, but there was 4-week tours, whatever, a lot of time in between for the guys that just wrestled for All Japan Pro Wrestling and didn't do indie shots when they were home or whatever. It would be like the first night when you come in, your body feels all stiff from the bumps, and your body isn't as conditioned if you've had 4 weeks off and now you're back to work again. But the second night, third night, boom, then you're back in, then you got it. So just a little insight for anybody that wants that kind of knowledge. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing.
That's right. Rob, how did it feel? Like, were you more acclimated with the ring this time too a little bit? Did you kind of get better feel for it all or anything like that? Was it like, okay, I kind of get the gist of how it all
Yeah.
is? How to
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got in there in the daytime and I jumped up to the top a few times to make sure that I was 100%. And the referee, it was the referee that had my match. The guy, I've known him and worked with him forever. That's a lot of the faces, a lot of familiar faces there, crew people behind the scenes and the boys, but it'll just be like, whoa, there's a familiar face. How you doing? Don't know how long it's been since I've seen that person or where I worked with them, but so many. And when it comes to the crew people, you probably wouldn't expect that on the outside. You would look at them as if they're just expendable, replaceable people that maybe got hired locally to come in and, set the chairs up and stuff, which there are those people, but the people then that direct them, that are in charge of them and stuff, they tend to be more used in travel. And because of that, the lighting people, the sound people, camera dudes, just people that set up the actual studio sets, everything. A lot of those are what they call lifers, and that's their career because they've been doing it so long and they're good at what they do. And so, they're used to the lifestyle of being on the road, working around the wrestlers' egos and whatever else comes with the wrestlers, just everything that's entailed in that job.
Yeah, right. And like it's got to be kind of refreshing to see those familiar faces. Not only that, like, hey, they know what the fuck they're doing and like how that all operates, kind of aspect of it all too. And like, yeah, it's almost like a, hey, I remember you, and like just a good kind of vibe setting in there already and everything. So
I started and then got off track. I was talking about the referee that I knew him for a long time ago, but he said, yeah, make sure you check out that top rope because it's higher. And he said, so-and-so, no, that was a fan that said that. It said so-and-so, I'm not going to mention their name because it's probably not even true, used to botch their move. But anyway, the ref said something. Man, I just combined two stories in my head. But I was like, is it in fact higher? Because I never knew that. Like, to me, like, it's weird, but when you're in the ring that much, 2 inches would be like, it would mean all the difference in the world if you're used to just reaching out and feeling something. And it's like, I know that it is higher, but I didn't. Some people, they're like, oh, is it? I don't know. I never noticed. But even when I'm standing on the apron, I feel like one of the smaller wrestlers because the top rope feels like I can get to hear when I'm trying to tag. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really interesting. It's just the top rope is higher. But yeah, I did prepare myself for it earlier in the daytime. Everything went smooth. And, like I said, it was awesome connecting with the Michiganders. They were there for me. I love the signs. Always love the signs. That's when I come out and connect with the crowd, I'm always pointing out all the RVD signs because that person went through a lot of trouble to make that sign. They were excited about doing it, bought the poster board, whatever, brought it, been carrying it on the bus. I don't know if it's bus. But, could be. But anyway, that I just think, that like I'm always flattered and then they get creative with it, and have like
the big thumbs.
Yeah.
They had the thumbs. They didn't do the goose. They didn't do the goose though.
No, that would be different.
That would be different. That's what somebody should do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where the money is.
That's where the money is, right there. Geese foam hands.
I noticed some of the guys that I was expecting to see weren't there, and I don't know who's on what show, but before when I had done Dynamite, I saw some of my peers like, Mark Henry. I saw Big Show, Jericho. Didn't see those guys at Collision. Did see Christian though, and So, and I so some of the guys obviously do more than one of the shows because I saw Christian at the other shows too. But however that works, I think if it does make any of them different, then this one, I don't know, it felt maybe I don't know if it's their C show, if that's what it is, or whatever. But it seemed like maybe just a little. I don't know. It seemed calm, easygoing. Everybody seemed to be having fun, in a good mood.
Yeah.
Not that I would say the other was hectic, but I mean, if I had to vote on which day was had better, smoother, happier energy, then I guess this day would get my vote. But
Nice, yeah. Collision has a pretty good identity overall and stuff like
what a
that.
silly vote that would be,
Yeah.
And who would run for election? I don't know. It was good though. All good.
Nice. What did you get to? I know, so maybe some talent that was at Collision probably wasn't at Dynamite. Maybe the last time somebody like Bryan Danielson. Did you get to interact with him at all? Or
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did see him, and I'd seen him recently, but I guess it was at a convention. Not that you mentioned it, I probably would have thought that maybe it was at the AEW show, but there was a lot of AEW wrestlers at the one that I saw you at, Starcade.
Yep.
Starcade. So
Yep.
Saw him there too. But yep. That would be affirmative.
Nice. Yeah. He's got a good energy to him always. It seems too. He's like very positive and optimistic. So yeah, I was curious to ran into him and stuff like that. Anybody else really stand out to you that maybe you didn't get to interact with or that you maybe saw in the ring this weekend or anything like that stood out to you? Anything special in that regard?
Well, I thought that I was gonna see Cody. What? Cody, Karen Jarrett's son.
Oh, Cody, yes. Cody Angle, yep.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to seeing him, and had something that I brought for him because he's always really cool. And of course, RVD's his favorite wrestler, and Jeff and Karen are both so cool. Karen goes way out of her way to be super nice to me, and she's so classy and beautiful, and love her. Didn't see them. I guess they weren't on this show. Didn't see Taz. I was expecting to see Taz because I was with his son hanging out, corrupting him.
How'd you corrupt him? What'd you do?
Nothing. He's already corrupted.
He's too late. It's too late.
I did like that somebody said of that picture when they said that was the first time they'd seen him smile. So I thought that was
right.
Cool.
You cracked him. You broke him.
Yeah.
He's always serious. He doesn't talk. He's very diminutive, but he's also not diminutive. I don't think that's the right word, but very like straight laced and like straightforward and everything like that. So you broke him. You got him. So,
cool kid.
Yeah, he is a cool kid. Yeah, he's definitely got that good vibe, and yeah, I think it has a lot of star power to him and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops over the course of the wrestling career, if you will. So, hey,
I will.
I guess I got to. So Tony Khan did a media call this past on Tuesday, so yesterday, for WrestleMania that's coming up in Seattle, and I got to ask about you, and I asked him his thoughts on having you there, and what's the potential of having you down the line there too. And this is what he said. Let me pull up my notes here because I copied and pasted. Tony. He was yes, he's very much into RVD. If I can find where I'm here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So this is what Tony Khan said. RVD was a great part of it. The Michigan fans were very excited to see him. He got a great reaction in the live arena, and the show did a great rating. I think he's been here on a case-by-case, show-by-show basis. But we love having him, and I'd certainly be open to Rob returning in the very near future, as I said when I saw him this past weekend. He's doing a great job, and we'd love to have him back So great to have Rob here anytime he's available to do it, and anytime it makes sense for everyone. So there we go, Rob. How about that?
Ooh,
Yeah, woohoo indeed.
that's a good report card.
Yes. Hypothetically speaking, if he was having you on, like maybe not a full-time schedule, but a pretty regular schedule, would that be something you'd be interested in doing?
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I know it's just fun to see you on there, Rob. And hell, man, that singlet looked fucking badass. So
Yeah, a lot of people had very good comments about that singlet, and many of them said it was one of their favorites. So thanks to Joe Holland, as always.
he's got that magic touch.
Guy that did this skull here.
That's right. Right. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. There it is. Right there.
There it is.
We'll figure it out. So,
Yep.
yes, this weekend you're going Battle Creek where the whole damn show is happening. Being back in Michigan for Grand Rapids, did it kind of get you excited more so to be back in Battle Creek the following week and kind of getting in that hometown vibe almost, so to speak, I guess?
Yeah, you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of the people for sure will be in Battle Creek. It's not that far apart. So if anything, the show in Grand Rapids hopefully drew some attention and might help kick some momentum towards BC. It's a very weed-friendly state now, which, has changed since I left Michigan. But I was happy to see that. And so I already know when I get there, I'm all good, hooked up. We're going a couple of days early, do some promotions. And it's always nice to know that you're taken care of when you get there. And then sets the vibe for the trip. Otherwise, as I've said lots of times, if I don't have it, that's cool too. But this time I do. It's waiting on me. So had some nice gifts in Grand Rapids, and have some of those holding and waiting for me when I get back. I will see a handful of people. I don't know how many people I'll see that I know, because it could be people from my school, and I'm going to my school to talk to those people,
Really?
students. My understanding is that that's for sure. But yeah, that went through me, and I kept trying to get someone else to organize, and they kept sending it back to me. But so the high school that I went to, that I did the backflip off of the school, and I would imagine I'm probably pretty well known by the students that I went to that school. So I am planning on going there, giving them a little anti-bullying talk and follow your dreams. Don't listen to these teachers.
Don't listen to these guys. They don't know.
Throwing spit wads at me.
That's right.
Help. Yeah. And anyway, so there's no telling who I'll see, but as far as plans, I could count people on one hand of people that I'm planning on seeing that from my days in Battle Creek. But I'm sure there'll be people that say, "You don't remember me, do you?" I get that everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty honest, because it's like, man, I'm not gonna play this game, but I'll just, or I won't answer it. I'll just say from.
Yes.
And, I expect to hear like, "You used to bag my groceries. You don't remember me?" I expect to see several of those, and maybe I'll pretend to remember them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you should just call by the wrong name anyways. Be like, "Oh yeah, you're Jacob. I remember you, of course."
Yeah, I get a lot of people that honestly, like, I'm the things that I hear people say, like sometimes I'll be at a signing and they'll say things, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, "Dude, you don't remember me, do you?" And I'll be like, "Where do I know you from?" And they'll be like, "When you came to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and you were there in 2002, you walked right by me. I had an RVD t-shirt. You pointed at me and you high-fived me." And they really expect that I am going to remember them from that, And just between you and me, I might not remember that.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes shit like that, moves on to make room for other stuff.
Right. It's like, how does the brain, if you're meeting that many people, there's no way you can retain like just like short moments like that and stuff like that. Dude, I forget people after a week sometimes. And I don't nearly meet as much people as you do. Like
The worst is when is forgetting somebody's name right after they introduced themselves.
God, I
I
hate
just feel like such a dick. But especially go to a dress where you're shaking everyone's hand, like, "Hey, I'm Trent. Hey, I'm John. Hey, I'm Bob. Hey, I'm Billy. Hey, I'm Mike." And then sometimes and it's good to meet you. Good, I'm Rob. Good. And then sometimes it's like, fuck, what is his name? Like he just told me. And sometimes it'll just be one person, so you don't even have that good of an excuse. It'll just be one or two people. And they'll be, "Hey, I'm Bob. I'm Peter. Whatever." And be, "Okay, hey, I'm Rob. I need to talk to you about this." And then I'll be like, "Hey, fuck, what's his name?" What I mean? Like I always feel like irresponsible. Like come on, Rob, you can do better. Pay attention next time when someone goes out of their way to shake your hand and tell you their name. And so there is that too. But you know what also is always really impressed me is people with photographic memories.
Oh yeah, crazy.
It's amazing. It seems like it would drive you crazy. I know there's a lot of stuff I would hate to remember. You got some memories that aren't going to be your favorite memories.
No way.
These people seem to not forget anything. And I don't know how common they are, but I think of the actress that was on a TV show called Taxi in the 70s and 80s, like when I was a kid. Very popular show, Mary Lou something. And I've seen her being tested, on talk shows, and it's amazing. They can pick a date, November 19th, 1972, and she'll be like, ooh, okay, I just bought my brand new Ford LTD that day. I remember I was excited because, and it's like, you can watch it like a magic trick and say, are they faking it? But it's a real thing. And I think like, wow, what a great skill that would be to have, even though it would haunt you at the same time.
Yes, like there'd be so much shit you wouldn't want to remember, but then, oh my gosh, yeah, some people it's amazing how they can just collect all that. It's like, I think Cal Ripken Jr. was known to like remember names, like the baseball player. He was always good with remembering names and everything. It baffles me. I can barely remember what I did this morning, like half the time. So, yeah.
Now that you mention it in the sporting world, what was that one? Robert De Niro played.
The Fan.
Like, where he's that came up earlier for a different conversation, but the one where he was special and he would like know the numbers and he was going very, going all the way, he would repeat, Raymond, come on. I might not have been Robert De Niro. I thought it was. Everyone listening knows what I'm talking about. Dennis Hoffman or Dustin Hoffman. What's that other dude's name?
Is it Rain Man? You're thinking Rain Man?
Rain Man, that's what it was.
Yep.
You remember that movie?
I remember the movie. I've never seen it though, but I am.
I think the guy was autistic, but as a side effect of that, he had an outstanding memory which is common. Like with those people, sometimes they make up for some social skills by having other amazing things that stand out. Sometimes it's the memory, but I've always been impressed with that.
I wish I had it. If as much of a curse in that would be in some ways, I wish I did have it though. Nonetheless, it's just
a pretty cool superpower.
It would be.
Really.
That would be a neat Mortal Kombat skill to have. It's just good memory. I don't know how you could translate that into fighting, but
right. Now we're gonna fight crime and stop evil, but
right.
We'll get some Trivial Pursuit contest.
Fucking rocking it. Rob, I as I usually ask, did you watch any other wrestling this week besides Collision?
I did not get a chance to watch any other wrestling yet.
Short turnaround. It was Saturday and we're recording on Wednesday too, so it's kind of you had a busy week. You were already telling me. So, well, I did want to ask too. You familiar with Jade Cargill? She just signed with WWE, but she was that huge talent. And what do you think of that? I mean, she's an amazing, obviously an amazing look, great presence, good personality, stuff like that. She's pretty much going to flourish wherever she goes. I just want to get your thoughts on her real quick, if they had any.
Yeah, I think she looks like money to me. You know, she looks great, looks marketable, skilled, and so I'm not surprised that WWE would want to pick her up, and I don't see what would be keeping her from being a huge star. She's very magnetic, and it's cool to look at her. So in a different way than like say China years ago or whatever, because she's different, and she's like more feminine and there's a sexiness to her, but she also looks badass and stuff, incredibly fit, and I saw the match where she wrestled with Shaq, and and it was like, I don't know if that was her very first or one of her first, but I could tell from that that she definitely had potential to have somebody show her the right way,
Right.
because you couldn't go through just one match like that if you were hopeless. You couldn't do it.
No way. Yeah, and I know she was like a natural athlete. I think she was like a volleyball player or something before going into like a real almost professional, and her husband was a professional baseball player too. So it's just like, man, yeah, the look she has, she definitely she's like the 5-tool player almost, it seems like.
Yeah, not knowing a lot about her, I'm a fan of her from what I know.
Yeah.
I've been in a room with her a little bit. I don't think I've actually met her. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, she's got that it factor. So good luck to her and her career.
Absolutely. Somebody else I wanted to talk about too, and you mentioned it on the Chris Van Vliet interview too. He brought up Matt Riddle, who just got released by WWE. But I know you had a little interaction with him. You knew him from Ultimate Fighter, and you knew him even before he got into wrestling, right? So, you don't know. I think you told Chris that you didn't know him too well from a personal standpoint, but he's a very talented guy too. And I think whatever he decides to do, whether it's MMA again or wrestling, sky could be the limit for him too, I think.
Yeah. And if anybody missed that story, I met Matt Riddle at the Playboy Mansion at a party years ago after the Ultimate Fighter. This was a medical marijuana policy project fundraiser, which they used to have annually at the Playboy Mansion. And then eventually Hugh quit having parties at the mansion from outsiders. And then it just went all downhill after that. But that's where I had met him. So a lot of people think that's a pretty cool story. And he seems to not be able to stay out of trouble, this kid, right? So,
yeah.
So, he'll get another chance, I'm sure. But I feel like he got so many chances that they felt like that they're not going to be taken seriously unless some consequences are shown. I think they'll be temporary, and that could be by the universe, not necessarily by the company, but he'll definitely, go somewhere productive from here. And hopefully he'll quit sending dick pics or whatever it is that he's doing on his off time that gets him so much heat.
Yeah, the reports were he apparently WWE, like according to some sources, said that he burned a lot of chances with them, and it gets to a point too. Hopefully, it's kind of a reality check for him where he's like, okay, maybe I gotta fucking straighten my act up on certain regards with things and kind of refocus. Watch some RVD maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, he grabbed the headlines enough to where sometimes Katie would joke and be like, okay, Matt must be behaving himself. I haven't seen his dick for anything all week show up online. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, oh, there he is again. You know,
Oh,
yeah. So that's his story.
yep. Yeah, hopefully he turns it around. I mean, he's such a talent, and so it'd be cool to see him kind of like.
He will. I mean, it could be way worse. And I don't know. I mean, as soon as I said that, I'm like, I don't know the worst he's done. I can't. But from what I know, which isn't very much, but I was just gonna say, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna take that back right now because I really don't know. You know, I don't want to try and make light of something if somebody else feels victimized that knows a story that I don't, and really I don't have the knowledge. I know what I don't know, and that's that.
Yeah.
And that's just that he's not getting in trouble for smuggling heroin internationally and what do you call when you sell people?
Trafficking, like
Trafficking, yeah, people trafficking. I mean, so murder. So if it's doing some creepy things or being into weird things at the wrong time or whatever, then I guess I was trying to make it sound better from that way. But again, I don't know. Don't know what anyone's done except myself. And I put myself on blast all the time. So there ain't no heat on me.
That's right.
No, you can't dig anything up on me. And I think everybody knows that because there's nothing hidden.
Nope. Yeah. You're an open book, Rob, and you're straightforward. You know, you don't get that too often. That's why it's called one of a kind.
True.
True that, man.
True. Works for me.
Yep. All right. So my original plan was we were going to do a wrestler spotlight. I had somebody in mind that I was like, oh, that'd kind of be a cool tie-in. But I want to do him justice, this WWE Hall of Famer, this fellow WWE Hall of Famer. So we're going to table him for now to potentially next week. We're just going to do another rendition of Ask RVD because we got a good amount of questions just in a few hours' time.
Is it a good amount of good questions?
That's a good question, Rob. Let's figure it out. Because all I did is I hit screenshot, and so I uploaded them to this to our StreamYard here. I don't even know what some of these questions. Well,
you better not pick any really stupid questions that I don't know the answer to.
That's right. Well, I didn't do dates and stuff like that, and the certain ones that I did screen. Now, here, guys, before I carry on to, well, what we get a lot of is, will you smoke with me? What's your favorite this? And when will you come back here? And what's your status? All that stuff we've already answered, or Rob's kind of made pretty clear, like his favorites change from time to time. It's not a certain thing that you can go. So if you have those, kind of maybe stay away from those next time. But always feel free to use hashtag AskRVD, and we'll be able to filter them out. So Rob, we are going to start. This is from okay. I wanted to ask this one last week when we did it. This is from one of my dirt sheet friends, Robert D. Felice. He writes for Fightful, and he asked a question that I was kind of curious to get your thoughts on.
All right.
So he says, how has nostalgia in modern media changed the way you view your own career in wrestling? Your own worth as far as continuing to take bookings, and has it changed your perspective on longevity in wrestling overall? Just this modern landscape of technology and media, and the fact that people are really going back to nostalgia nowadays too. Has it kind of made you kind of reset how to maybe market yourself or promote yourself or anything to that effect?
Well, I feel like there's probably like a book that could be written around that question from all kinds of different perspectives, but I'll grab what's in my head right now. And I think of the fact that the generation above me, they wrestled, and then unless you could find really old VHS tapes, a lot of that got destroyed anyway, especially from the old TV studios. A lot of when they used to do What was it? Celluloid that it was filmed on. But anyway, what people in my generation might not have known was that we wrestle, but on a particular night, like let's say I'm in Philadelphia in 1998 and I'm in the ring with Sabu, what I'm not thinking is this match is going to be watched in 2023 on the WWE network or whatever it's called now, the Peacock, wherever they're airing this stuff. And so because of that, in YouTube, but even more so, just these libraries, they're being viewed, and from some viewers' perspectives, they almost see it as current. So because of that, it keeps me fresh to generations that are still coming out. So I'll be surprised sometimes when 7, 8-year-olds will recognize me and be like, oh my God, RVD. And they'll say, their parents will say, oh, you're his favorite. He's watching, like I said, the ECW shows on the network or whatever he's watching. And it's like, to me, that's amazing because they can move forward from there, but they're still 25 years off. And then sometimes they might be surprised if they see a picture of me or something and see that I'm older than I was in 1998. And it's because they don't really understand that what they're watching, Same thing with porn. You know what I mean? Like when you're looking at a really hot chick on porn, you're thinking, oh my God, I love her. You're not thinking that she's really 89 right now, that she filmed that back in 1964 and now she's
you're not thinking about that's part of your fantasy.
We want them to live forever in that moment. And that's what being an image is all about, is not having the whole 3 dimensions and living an actual life, but just being whatever you are to the beholder. That's what being an image is always.
Yeah. That's a very interesting thought too on it all, because it's like, there's no way you're thinking about that stuff in 1998, and let alone like, hey, this 7-year-old is gonna 30 years from now is gonna recognize who I am, and like I'm going to be his favorite wrestler. Where it's just like, wow, that's crazy to even think. Or somebody even like that Kalani Jordan in NXT, like I'm sure she's a younger talent that didn't maybe necessarily grow up watching you like that, modern you, but like she adapted a lot of your style and influence and stuff. So it's pretty cool that it translates to that too. So
pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty darn cool. All right, this was an interesting one. So this is in regards to one of your singlets in particular. Thoughts on this gear and the story behind it. This one in particular, Rob. This is not like your typical singlets going on. What do you have any memories of that one? How that one came to be? Is that Joe Holland, or is that not Joe Holland?
Yeah. No, there are 2 of those. The other one I think has a silver.
Yep, the silver dragon. Mm-hmm.
I think just the 2. And so here's the deal with that. When I came into WWE in 2001, just like every other moment in my career, I have a flooding of people offering me their opinions on how I should change, fit their values. Or, well, I mean, that's how I saw it, but really they thought it was a good idea that it was going to help me. That should change. I should do more of this, less of that. Michael Hayes said he thought that my airbrush was tie-dye. That's what he referred to it as. And he said one time to me, he said, that tie-dye, it reminds us of the 70s. And I was like, oh yeah? And he was like, yeah, would you consider do you see what Kurt Angle wears? Like it's the same kind of cut, but like it's made by the seamstress. So it's actually like it's all made in and it's solid. And so, I was, all right, I'll give it a try. We didn't want to try it. But that's what that was. That was the seamstresses made me an RVD version of the Kurt Angle outfit. because the airbrush quote tie-dye reminded them of the 70s. And so they wanted to change me, and so I got those outfits. And after a very short time, because Joe Holland was my boy, Joe Holland, the airbrush artist, he was still kicking ass, making these sweet outfits and sending them to me. He wasn't stopping. So what I did was I saved the Kurt Angle-ish outfits for the non-televised shows when I was out on the road. And then when I would do TV every Monday or every Tuesday or one Sunday a month, I would wear the brand new airbrushed outfits because they only stay bright one or two times. And then depending on the specific outfit, they start fading. And because of that, I wouldn't want to wear the painted ones and waste them on the non-televised shows. So those became my house show outfits. And I just kept doing what I do. Ignoring everybody and marching down my own path.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, that's cool, man. Like, that's such smart thinking too. Hey, don't waste the good airbrush ones on house shows and get them.
Yeah, because they really don't last long and they fade. And then after a while, the elasticity actually dries up and cracks out. But it's the fading. It only looks really hot and fresh like once, maybe twice if it's a really short match that you wear it in. But yeah, because of that. And I don't know if it was good or not, but obviously a lot of fans would agree that my outfits were awesome and that was another thing that made me stand out and be different.
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy, I guess, to think about that a wrestler would come in having his own stuff painted outside instead of having WWE create their outfit and have the onerous control over it so they know that I'm not going to show up with it faded or whatever. It seems like that was a lot of freedom to give me because I could show up with a completely faded one and look like shit. And then that would reflect upon them and their professionalism, even though it was really my fault, So when you look at it that way, it was some leverage over being just one of the other guys,
Right.
And the action figure people loved it because they could make so many action figures out of me because of my different outfits, just like Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Heck, we wouldn't have these many different frames either if you didn't have the airbrush stuff. So right, Now I know you never really have a particular favorite singlet, but does Joe Holland have a particular one that that he likes the most?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
You know what? That's who we should maybe interview.
That's a great idea.
30,000 subscribers coming up on my YouTube page. We're talking about doing a live stream and who could be a good guest out of a list of people that we have. I'm going to add him on the list.
I like that.
Which, by the way, Maven's getting 30,000 views like every video he does. You seen that?
Yeah, I did. How nuts is that? Yeah. He used to be a QVC host. I wonder if he started playing into that, like trying to figure out. Maybe he has a certain marketing idea that we're missing. I don't know.
I don't know, but congrats to me.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. So he's a personality too, that's for sure. All right, what do we got here? Okay, you might have answered this one before. Wrestle Sport Media asks, what is a wrestling move you did once and you would never do again? I know you don't like the what is it, the Alabama Slam, that thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I always do that. The other side of the equation to that fact is that I would never tell them that they're killing me because my ego would absorb it. I used to jump up to the top rope in the middle and do a crossbody, not on the turnbuckle, but jump up to the top rope. And not more than once, but I don't do that anymore because the risk factor. Just like, did we just talk about this?
Yeah, we did. So yeah,
180 into the split-legged moonsault out of the corner.
Yeah, you'd spin around. Mm-hmm.
That's another one. As far as one time, this comes to mind, a move that I think I only did one time, and that was a Rolling Thunder onto Abyss, onto a piece of plywood that had barbed wire wrapped around it or stapled to it or whatever. I think that's the only time I've done that because I don't think I've had a match like that.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that would feel uncomfortable, I'm sure. So somebody asked about this. I want to see if this is another one. No, that's not it. This is it. This is the one. VBDC asks, why did you start using that double arm gourd buster suplex where you pick the guy up vertically and slam him back down face first? I never seen anyone else do that.
Well, first off, thank you for noticing that.
Mm-hmm.
All the original RVD moves, and here's one that could be original that I don't even do anymore. I don't think I ever saw anybody do this, but so it's a combination of like a front suplex.
Mm-hmm.
Pick someone up for a vertical suplex, but you come forward on their face with it.
Yeah.
It's a combination of that and like a chicken wing, like a chicken wing suplex. And so I used to do this all the time, but I was killing people with it. You know, I would hook their arms like a chicken wing, not
like pedigree?
with them over their head. Yeah, like a pedigree, not like back, not like my chest to their back,
right?
But like they're bent down, and I use that chicken wing to pick them up, and then instead of going backwards, I would go frontwards, and everyone that I did that to would get fucked up.
Oh, really?
So that was one of the reasons. Like very few people would. Sometimes they were uncomfortable. They would stick their knee forward to break their fall, and they would land on their knee. Or you know, I would like kind of like throw them at the end so that they could take care of themselves. But most people were very uncomfortable with that. When I would pick them back up, their legs would all split and go everywhere. So it was a bit sloppy. I have other moves like that too, like a side power bomb that I would do to legitimately take control over someone. But in a match, maybe it's out of my realm. But the guy's down there, pick him up and step out of it and slam him down. I used to kill people with that, so I quit doing it. And the real reason that I gave up that front chicken wing gourd buster gimmick is because when I went to WWE, I thought that maybe it was too much like Triple H's move.
Okay, yeah.
To me, it looked like a better version of it. And so I thought for those reasons that I probably shouldn't do it because he's got the guy hooked the same way and he's just kind of going down. I'm picking the guy all the way up and then like bringing him down. So in my mind, I was thinking it's like a more like maybe he would think that I'm doing an extreme version of his move, even though I've been doing it for years and done in Japan and stuff. But that's why I gave it up because I thought I didn't want it to be confused with someone else's arsenal in a way that could affect any boundary issues.
Right. You didn't want to cause any unneeded tension for no reason that wasn't just circumstantial or anything.
Yeah, the fact that most people, when they would land, would somehow get fucked up, were enough reason for me to say, I got enough other moves.
Yeah. So I'll follow up with this too. So if something like that happens, like a move, you deliver a move to somebody and it does like, oh man, I got fucked up from that. Is it just a matter of like them after the match being like, hey man, that move kind of fucked me up pretty good, or like, and then you just kind
circumstantial. It's completely circumstantial, you know, just like you would imagine. It could be great energy, could be funny, it could be like my bad, could be anger. You never know. You know? Yeah. I some of the way the style is now, it's like I've had someone try to do a move to me, and it was so damn confusing to me. Him trying to explain to me, how I was supposed to take this move. I go like I'm going to hip toss, but then I reach down here between your legs and I grab this arm and I pull it around here. And then like when I grab this and I pull up on here, like jump, but don't jump that way, like jump. And then like lean, but spin into this way while I do it. And what I'll do, and I'm like, can you do this move to me or not? You know,
Right.
am I doing the move to me? Because no. Boom! I escaped my own move. Didn't even have to go out there. I'm already done.
You don't even have to come out, man. I got it.
Yeah, I did it. I escaped it. Didn't work.
It didn't work. All right.
But also, yeah, I mean, there's been times where, you know, like I've knocked people out in the ring and didn't know how they were gonna react, or potatoed them really bad and didn't knock them out. Even like with Ryback one time, specifically, I remember like I kicked him so hard in the mouth, and I felt bad, but I didn't know him or know how he was gonna react, and I couldn't feel him out there. You know, like I tried, couldn't feel the response, and I think he was angry at himself. We talked about it after, but right afterwards, it's like I gotta wait till I see him before I take my boots off, because last thing I want is to have like one boot halfway off and like, you know, be like halfway undressed and have someone come back there and be like, "God, motherfucker," you know, because that's just the old school that I'm from. That's like a good possibility. Somebody could be, you know, really, really mad, and even if they're, you know, even if you deserve it at a certain point, like you still gotta. What are you gonna do? You still gotta protect yourself.
Right,
know?
exactly. Yeah.
When I kicked the business teeth out, I felt so bad, so bad. But I can only apologize so many times, and he was getting more and more angry, you know. And you know, of course he is. I would be too, you know. But it's like, dude, you know, okay, so now what? You know what I mean? I'm sorry. It's the nicest guy ever too. So that's why I definitely that made me feel extra bad. And I'd never done that before. And I didn't even know that I did. I couldn't even tell. But bam, didn't even know with that back kick out of the corner. And then it was a while. Several weeks later, I did the exact same thing to Ryback, and that's why I was like, "Fuck," you know, like that's where as a, I don't know, as an artist, as a as a worker, even, you know, where I have to like be my own worst critic and beat the shit out of myself and be like, okay, you know, that can't happen again. Like you you're lazy, get your fucking eyes on your opponent, spin your head back, you know, go back to first grade fucking martial arts. What are you doing? Because you get after a while into a flow and your timing, and so it's easy to get into a rhythm that's a little more lazy, and you really need all the effort and execution behind it in a way that being lazy and going with the flow doesn't accommodate. And the same thing for jumping up to the top rope. It takes everything. Can't just be like, boom, all right, now I'm gonna go to the top. Because sometimes, you know, I might get tripped up or something. And it's like, boom, commitment. Gotta be committed to each move.
That's right.
But anyway, they've been cool about it though. They've been cool about it. And I knocked out, you know, some guys. I knocked out One Man Gang. I knocked out Jungle Jim Steele. Knocked out Matt Stryker. Quite a few people, but I always feel uncomfortable afterwards until we're able to have some words.
Right. You know, and it's that balance of things, because obviously, like, it's not ballet, but it's also, you still got to feel it. Sometimes you'll feel bad about it, nonetheless. You know.
Of course, yeah. I mean, and some people, it's just their business. You know, it's just their policy is just to put you in check. Like a Pitbull Anthony, he'd be like, "That's okay as long as you didn't do it on purpose. You didn't do it on purpose, right?"
Yeah.
Look at it real straight, and be like, "Okay, then, yeah." And it's not just him, but there's a lot of people that's their response, and so that's a way of the wrestler, you know.
Yep, the way of the wrestler, absolutely. Yeah. All right, here's an interesting one. If you could go back and take anyone's gimmick and have it as your own, who would you be today? What about $1 Million Man RVD? Would you do that, Rob?
I would be Robbie the Barber Beefcake. You like that one?
Oh, perfect.
It's my calling.
That's your calling. You're just coming out with big fucking scissors. Oh, that's perfect. Carlos asks, have you ever heard of a wrestler being addicted to the blade in ECW? Well, you mentioned Balls Mahoney was pretty into bleeding, right? Is there anybody else that was like that too, Rob?
That's what they mean, right?
Yeah,
Just someone that really like to do it is often
themselves and like kind of like it's almost like every match or something like that where they want to do it.
New Jack looked like he did, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like looking at his forehead. You know, Sheik was like that, the original, at least the years that I saw him. Abdullah the Butcher, same thing. In ECW, though, as I mentioned recently a few times, when I would be wrestling Balls Mahoney, he wanted to blade every match, and I am never for it. Yeah. I'm never, it's never my idea. And if someone says, hey, you know, how do you feel about me doing this? I'm always going to say, I don't think it needs it. And I mean, there might be exceptions, but I mean, that's how I'm going to mostly feel. And then if the question is, do you mind if I do it? Then I'm probably going to be like, you really got to do that? Like, you really think it needs it? And then, you know, for some people, it really means a lot to them. Like that's part of their dream is to get color out there in a match. I don't know, like whatever, dude. But Balls was like that, and we would be like, "Come on, Balls! Like not tonight, dude." And sometimes my evil ex would even talk to him before a match because she'd be there and she'd try and hit it from the blood safety perspective, you know, of like, you know, I don't know what he's bringing home, you know, if he makes blood, you know, like everyone knows you're with those two nasty rats last night or whatever, and boom, boom, boom. But whatever. Besides him, I think Cronus liked to do it a lot, you know, like, but addicted is a very strong word, though.
That is a pretty strong word. Did the Sheik teach you how to do it? No, didn't do it. Mm-mm.
No, sir. That was not something the Sheik would ever expose to us. We were never allowed to even look in his briefcase. You know, he had it open. He had it open one time. It's like, I think, my fourth match in Vermont, I think. And Sabu and I kind of like were sneaking up behind him to look over his shoulder because we wanted to see in his briefcase. Yeah. Because he was so kayfabe with us, and we were looking, and he saw us and like slammed it shut, and we ran like mice. Like, what are you looking at? We were like, down the hallway.
It's like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction or whatever.
Right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next here? Okay, I think you maybe mentioned this before. Dismiss abysmal. What's the difference between stiff and snug? Bruce Pritchard says that Vader was stiff, but RVD was snug. Is there a difference, Rob?
Well, if you want to put a difference on it, snug is going to be a little more endearing, a little more friendly. Snug is going to refer to a style where you're going to feel everything. It's going to be impactful. It's not light. Compare that to stiff. Stiff tends to refer more to too snug to the point of where possible harm is a good possibility, you know, like wow, this guy's like really stiff. Maybe, you know, you're probably going to have like some bruises and stuff on your legs from his kick. His kicks are stiff as fuck. You're going to watch out for those and don't let one catch you in the jaw, might knock you out. So yeah, if there's a difference, then it's that. Like stiff would be a little bit less complimentary to be referred to as being stiff. Stiff comes with like a stigma that sounds like unappealing to work with, maybe, where a snug could be more like, hey, I love that snug style, man. Boom, that's where I prefer it. So little difference, but if you were to interchange them, then I would let you.
I wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Would it kind of be like more? Would it be fair to label it like a little more reckless, or is that?
It could be. It could be. You know what I mean? I mean, everything's subjective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could call myself stiff, and then have someone else say, "Nah, you're not really stiff, Rob." I'd say snug. It's like, oh, okay, but now we're just two people arguing over which word to use to describe.
Right.
But if you ask someone whose nose I broke, he might tell you he thought that I was a little stiff.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely subjective. All right, let's see. We'll do a few more here. Okay, I put this one up because I knew you weren't going to be there. Chris Chaos says, "Are you going to be in Seattle at Wrestle Dream?" Chris, he is not. He's going to be in Battle Creek, Michigan this weekend. So there you go.
It's a popular weekend. Chillicothe, Ohio has a show September 30th. The little guys, the little midgets, I can't remember what their promotion's called, but they come out here all the time to the strip clubs. They got a show at the Nerd, and I think maybe a Deja Vu too, and won't be able to do it, dude. It's a popular weekend.
It is a popular weekend. Yeah, September 30th, really happening.
I'm really looking forward to Battle Creek, though. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and gonna stir up some noise.
You're gonna have a good weekend, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have fun. Okay, here we go. Canadian Tokadusu Donald says, "Would you take Hook as your apprentice and teach him the ways of extreme hardcore wrestling, Rob?"
What's it pay?
There you go. That's it. That's it.
Sure, I'd be interested in that. I just need a little more info on the facts of the job.
That's it.
No.
I like it. Shady Lazak says, "Do you have a favorite wrestling video game? If so, which one? Did you play some wrestling video games back in like the earlier days or anything like that?"
Yes, way back in the day, and I ended up buying those video games and had them in my bachelor pad for a cool while. I captured my childhood, just like when I got the Soundwave Transformer action figure as an adult, because my mom could never find it that one Christmas. I got it. I don't know what to do with it, but so one of them was called Matt Mania.
Okay.
But sometimes, Matt Mania had two different versions, because one of them was also called Mania Challenge, and the difference was in one character. I think one of them had the Golden Hawk at the end, but it was Coco Savage and the Piranha. There's a karate dude. But I used to me and Dango would get hooked on one video game per year that would be like, whether it was at our bowling alley or was at the campground, and we would both spend so much time that we would just master it, and it would piss everyone off because no one else would be able to play. And Mania Challenge or Matt Mania was one of those where people come up and they set their quarters up, and that means they're next because they're waiting. But we'd put a quarter in, and we'd be there for 45 minutes because we'd find like a flaw. Like you could run and shoulder block them over and over and over. Every time they start to get up, you could do a running shoulder tackle over and over until their power drains all the way down, and then just beat them. It's not as fun, but once we found that, we could get through anywhere. You know what I mean? And so that was one of those. And then also there was a tag team game that I bought that had like the buttons that you hit. And the artwork was like rip off of WWE wrestlers. Tag Team Challenge, maybe, or Tag Team Mania.
I'm gonna have to
Not really sure what the name of that one was, but it was cool. You could throw them into the ropes and jump up and drop kick them, or throw them, go up to the top rope and jump off if you were quick enough, and do tag team moves. And it was like four people could play at the same time, and there's a joystick and a button that you with a little graph that gets stronger. Can't remember the name of it, but the other one I'm sure was Mania Challenge or Matt Mania, depending on which version of it that you played.
What was it? Do you remember the one? I know it's been popular too, like from nostalgia fans and like vintage video game fans. The one that had like Starman, where it was like a pink guy that had a blue star over his face.
Yeah, I think that was Nintendo or maybe even ColecoVision. That was
Yeah,
so Starman, I think it was called. But
Starman. Because then there was I think there was almost like an Antonio Inoki character too on there or something. But I remember that game. That was way back when.
yeah, I did play that, but oh my god, dude, I must have been 7.
Oh
I
god,
don't
I
know.
was like
It's been so
3.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, so back in the early 2000s, there was SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. And I would always play as you because there was a triple threat with me, my 2 brothers. We'd always do triple threat ladder matches. And one of them was Booker T, the other one was The Undertaker. But you were just kicking ass at it. So I always took you.
Got all the moves, right?
You had all the moves, man.
That was before everyone else stole all my moves. Now you don't even need RVD in a video game. They just rip off my outfit, my ponytail, everything, and call me whatever, and rob the barber beefcake.
Rob the barber beefcake. I am definitely going to Photoshop something. All right. 2 more questions will do. Boom. Ashley says, since you had so many great wrestling attire, do you have? Yeah, this is the inverse question. Did you have one that you disliked the most instead of all the singlets that you had? Is there one that you're like, was it the house show ones?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. What can I grab from my brain, if any? Man, I mean, there was one where the paint came off the very first night. Probably going to go with that. You're not going to know which one it was, but it had like green and yellow. I think it was a gray outfit, but Joe was still learning. Sometimes he would make mistakes, and he was learning how to set the heat on the airbrushing. And this one, he didn't set the heat right before he put it in the package and sent it, and it was just peeling off on my very first match. It was already coming off, and I was like, oh, man. And he told me to send it back to him. He said it, but it was like so fucked by the time I sent it to him that I don't think it was even savable. But that comes to mind. Funny story that isn't going to be as negative about my least favorite. By the way, sometimes I'm not thinking of the one that really comes up on my legs, the one that's the Saranama. It's like blue and white. It looks like metal. It's like sheet metal.
Yeah, yeah.
The legs would just peel up on me, make it look like I got a diaper on. But here's a story real quick. After I was in TNA from 2009-ish, 2010 maybe till 2012-ish, and then I went back to WWE 2013 and 2014. Twice when I was ready to come out on TV, my opponent's already in the ring. It's commercial, and I'm standing there gorilla waiting for my my music to hit as soon as the commercial's done. And I remember 2 different times, but one specific, the last time, Dean Malenko's like, hey, Rob, he goes, you got another outfit in your bag? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, you want to go put it on? And I'm like, wait, are you serious? Why? And he goes, you got one that doesn't say TNA on it? And I was like, oh, fuck. Like my heart just like stopped because I'm like, oh my God, this is live TV. And I had to fucking run down the hallway, bam, 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 sprint all the way down there, fucking grab my bag, open it up, and oh my God, thank God, I can't believe that. I'm such a fucking dumbass. And then run right back out there and like my music's playing. And I went in gorilla, like I'm the only one panicking when the girl just thought it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, they're all just like, heat's on him if he doesn't make it, you know, they're all just like, you know, and I did that 2 different times. One of them was like an Iron Man looking outfit. It has TNA on the leg. I didn't notice that. Yeah.
Oh, the Iron Man one's cool too. Yeah, I've seen that, the one in TNA, that one. And that has to be, I mean, that's an easy mistake to make though. I mean, if you're having so many of those singlets and stuff like that, it's like, okay.
Well, thanks. But
All right, one more. I don't even know what we're going with here, but I'm clicking on one. Dark Nola says, "Oh, okay. Is there an unspoken rule for wrestlers today not to use any of your kicks like the Van Daminator or the Van Terminator? I just had this conversation the other day about how I don't think I see anyone using your moveset outside of the Frog Splash." Rob, there's not really an unwritten rule, is there? Do people? I'm sure people would ask you if they could use it a lot of the times too. Sometimes.
But so the answer is not only no, but I see people doing it all the time. I see it on Instagram. I seen like the girls, two girls try to do the Van Daminator, and the crowd kind of shit on it because
Really?
it wasn't the best. But in the Van Terminator, one of the blondes, like the blondes, neon blondes, the really nice kids. I've seen them forever. There's a guy and a girl, pretty sure they're boyfriend, girlfriend, but they could be brother and sister or both. They are from the South, but but that guy will like run down the rope, halfway and then jump off and then do like Event Terminator or whatever. But I see people do it all the time, I think. But if it's a respect thing, then I'd be surprised. But people are doing it. People are doing, I mean, they're trying. They're trying, yeah. But no, and they do. If I am on a show, then usually out of courtesy, someone will ask, especially if they're on earlier in the show. Someone will say like, are you doing the Van Daminator? Or would you mind if I, it's like, it's called the Van Daminator. What the fuck are you doing? Get out of here.
Get on out of here.
I don't want to hold nobody back though, because I've never been someone like that. But that happens though, and that is how I feel sometimes.
Yeah, I don't blame it. Jeez, I remember the first time I saw the Van Terminator, I was like it was like the first move I really was like, holy fuck! Like I didn't even know it was kind of possible to do something like that.
Right.
Like it's just
right. You gotta think outside the box.
Yeah.
Know what's possible. Yeah, I never seen anybody do it either.
Yeah.
It was like I would crouch my opponent on the top rope, right?
Yeah.
He would hold the chair over his face, and then I would come out of the corner that dude's facing, and I would jump up off the top rope and do a flying one-legged kick to the chair, and I kept pulling the dude back further and further every night, challenging myself. Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can fucking clear this ring, Like, let me, Roadkill, come here, I gotta try something.
Roadkill, get on over here. Yeah. Hey, Sal Graziano, get your ass over here, big man. That's funny shit. All right. Rob, we're not doing an RVD this week, correct? So, but I do
want to make it short. I got to travel in the morning,
right?
And so, but
I will say for this week, humility. I always try to keep that in perspective, especially like laughing at yourself, kind of being like, all right, and just kind of accepting your flaws in a lot of ways. I think is kind of the nitty aspect of it, but kind of making it into a joke and kind of having fun with it. It's like something that I always kind of factor in. So it's always helpful to do that. And if you're able to laugh at yourself, you're kind of able to kind of move on from whatever's bugging you too when it comes to certain situations of that. So that's what I got, man. So
yeah, dude. So hopefully that came into play and you were reminded of how important that is, because the reason it's important is because it's instinctive for our ego to throw up a defense wall anytime our image is being challenged. Anything about us. Someone could say we smell bad. I do not. Fuck you. You smell bad. But you know what? Maybe you do smell bad. Is it possible? You know what I mean? What if you're like, oh my God, what if you got cat piss on your t-shirt? But instinctively, it's really ignorant if you think about it. Like I would regret that. I'd be like, why did I get defensive and say, fuck you, you smell bad, when I was the one in the wrong. People don't care. Basic thinkers don't regret because they just move on. But for me, that'd be something I try to fix about myself. It could be somebody could say you look bad. They could say you sound bad. They could say you smell bad. You move bad, whatever. The thing is, they can say that, and you got to at least be open to be like, is it possible? I mean, try and see it from their perspective. And, it's not always fun to do that if someone's insulting you, but sometimes you take it as an insult and it really could just be fact. And one other thing to say about this, just overall, we're talking about being able to laugh at yourself. John Snyder, I think his name is John. He was Luke. No, Bo. Was he Bo or Luke in the Dukes of Hazzard?
I'm not sure about that one.
I think he was Bo, but the blonde hair dude anyway. John Snyder. Why am I thinking Tom Snyder? It could be Tom Snyder. Anyway,
John Schneider, it's Bo.
It is John Snyder. Okay. One of the nicest guys like that I've ever met. He's just got this good energy about him, and he's so funny. He's just like, he's just entertaining. Like sitting at the table, everyone's eating lunch in the green room or whatever. Like everything he says, I'm laughing at, and I just said, "Man, you're a funny dude." And he said, "Well, looks aren't everything." And instantly, it was just like, made me like laugh again. Like he's looking at himself, like, what I mean? Like that was funny. Something like that. I might have been paraphrasing. I was like, "Man, dude, you're funny." Well, hey, I mean, looks aren't everything. As if I said you're funny looking, but you get it. But anyway, it was just an example of being not such a tight ass about yourself,
Right.
be able to laugh at yourself, be able to at least allow some criticism of yourself without automatically going into defense mode, because there might be some truth to it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's funny too, because it's like people that take themselves too seriously. You look at like stand-up comedians and stuff like that. Like that's usually what they'll go after, people that take themselves too seriously, It's like,
right.
That's a good target.
Comedians will start off talking about their big nose or whatever and make fun of themselves a lot of times, pull out stuff, "Oh, what are you kidding? I mean, going through school with a beaker like this, you think I didn't have it rough? What? And it's like, hey, he made it okay to laugh at him. Yay.
Right.
We like it. But yeah, I'll bring one next week because I like the feedback, and I know people have told me that they're listening and applying, and so that makes it all worth it. We're just doing a little shorter version, and on the shorter versions, sometimes we'd be skipping the new RVDology, but we talked about last week's, right? Am I right? Am I right, Dom? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. All right.
So hey. Yeah, we'll get it for you guys next week, potentially. Rob's got a busy weekend up ahead. Battle Creek. It's going to be fun. That I'm sure that I wish I was there to see it and everything.
Kellogg Center Arena, Battle in the Creek, Pure Pro Wrestling, September 30th.
Somebody, a talent, was asking me too. He messaged me on Instagram. He was asking who runs that. Do you know who runs the whole shindig for that, Rob?
I do.
Okay. Maybe can I get that from you off air potentially?
Was it the Neon Blonde?
It might have been. Yeah, it was it. Facade? Is that it? I think that might be it. All right. Okay.
Because I got a message.
That was
and
it.
I gave. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Blonde hair dude wears a neon green, and
yeah, exactly. That's him.
That's the Red Terminator, but made it his own version of it. So we're just talking about him, man.
Wow, how about that?
It's all relative. It's all relative.
All relative, man. Cool. Well, guys, if you like what you're hearing or watching, you can watch us early every Friday at 4:20 on the Premier Streaming Network, or you can check out rvdpod.com. We have all the clips up there. And hey, we got a new spot too on Rumble. We got full episodes popping up on there. I'm gonna be making that a regular occasion every Monday at 4:20 p.m. You'll be able to watch the new episodes of RVD every Monday. Right when the podcast drops, you'll be able to check it out on Rumble too. So go to rumble.com. We'll be sharing the links on social media all over the place. So be sure to check those out. Sweet.
Nice. And I am stoked for my match in Battle Creek. Body's feeling great. There's no room for any of the naysayers anymore. I mean, we pretty much snuffed them out like last night's campfire. You know what I mean? Like, psh. So all positive energy going in. And I'm looking forward to wrestling with Brian Cage because I have a lot of respect for that young man. He's very impressive, and I know he can take a decent kick to the chops.
Oh, he's gonna feel it, man. He's gonna feel it the whole damn show.
Or stiff.
Mm-hmm. He'll figure it out this weekend.
We'll ask him after.
Yep, we'll ask him after. We'll get Brian Cage's opinion on it.
Right.
All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you next. You're welcome, Rob. Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Let us know in the comments if these short ones are cool, or you prefer them being longer with the RVDology, or what you think about this guy.
Yeah, me.
Or Joe Holland artwork. Let's get Joe on here.
We gotta get Joe Holland on. Why can't I can't point anywhere.
He said he's done probably 300 outfits. Isn't that amazing?
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, always same dude from the beginning. And the last one might have been one of his best, according to the subjective views of some of the fans.
Somebody said it was very Miami Vice looking, and I love Miami Vice, so I think it was great, Rob. Good stuff.
Katie, I don't know if you saw the pictures of Katie standing with me, but she had same colors to match me.
She had the braid too. She had the braid. It was sweet. Yeah, that's a great picture of you too. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Very nice.
She's so awesome.
Yeah, you guys are great together.
Yeah. Cool, dude. We'll have a great weekend, and look forward to next week.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys here too next week on One of a Kind with RVD.
I was waiting for some kind of sign, some kind of indication I was wasting my time.